Hello, everybody. Finally, the Unit 4 overview. I apologize for the lateness, but better to get it out just within a few days. It is a longer unit, so you do have almost a full month to work on the assignments, and they're actually a little bit less reading than some of the past units. So I think that you'll still have plenty of time to get your work done, even though I'm a little bit behind, which again I apologize for. So in Unit 4, you will be learning about, again, reflecting on your own teaching and thinking about ways that you want to improve, things you want to work on. And then in this unit, you're actually going to be expected to teach a lesson that integrates one of the strategies. So let's get to it. In the overview of our book and kind of how that fits together with everything, we're now in the extend and apply knowledge section of the book. And what I did to try to even out the number of chapters is I took the homework and practice chapter and I'm just sliding it over into the extend and apply knowledge section. So that's how we get 3 units for each section. But that's where we are kind of on our little roadmap. So in this unit, you're going to be reading chapters 7, 8, and 9 in both the Classroom That Works book and in the handbook. So you'll be reading about assigning homework and providing practice, identifying similarities and differences, and generating and assessing hypotheses. So that's what you have to look forward to. I am going to ask you, as you have in the other units, to complete the strategy, reflection, and response for 2 of those 3 chapters. And those are due, the first one's due November 1st, and then the second one, November 15th, is going to follow the same format where you reflect on your own practices, and then you write about the ideas that you pulled out of each of those chapters. I'm going to also ask you to participate in the discussion board just as last time, so you can either post your responses in your instructional resource, or you can join us for the live chat on November 12th at 8 p.m. Now, for the new thing that I'm going to ask you to do this time, I want to have you in more of a formal way. I know a lot of you have been trying out the things that you've been reading about because you've been writing about those in your responses, and I enjoy hearing about those experiences, but this time I want you to do it in more of a formal, purposeful, planned sort of way. So I'm going to ask you to do 2 try it lessons. Lesson 1 is due in this unit, in Unit 4. And then the second try it lesson will be due in Unit 5. So for a try it lesson, I'm looking for these components. And you can read about the details of this in the assignment description. But I'm looking for the Professional Growth Plan worksheet, which comes from the handbook, and it will align with whichever of the instructional strategies you choose to try out. I'm also looking for some information about the background of the lesson. What have the kids been working on prior to this? What kind of prior knowledge will they need to bring to that lesson? What have you done to prepare them? Then I'm looking for a lesson plan. And I know that some of you have been through programs where you've had to write really detailed lesson plans. Maybe it's been a while since you had to do that. I don't imagine many principals require detailed lesson plans, although I do still hear stories. I not too long ago heard a story about a principal who requires teachers to turn their lesson plans in on Fridays before they go home, and he reads those over the weekend and puts a letter grade on them and delivers them to the teacher's desk over the weekend. So when the teacher comes back on Monday morning, he or she has a copy of her graded lesson plan. So believe it or not, that really does happen. But we're not going to be doing that exactly here. What I'm going to be asking you to do is to actually write out a lesson plan, even if that's not what you normally do in your teaching for this assignment. That's really the only way I have of getting a sense of what's happening in the lesson. So you can read in the assignment description. What I'm going to look for in that lesson plan are your objectives, then a description of the sequence of activities, what's going to happen during that lesson, your assessment, how will you know if the students met or learned the objective, and your bibliography, what kind of materials are you going to be using in your lesson. So it's not a full-blown lesson plan like you might have done in your pre-service teacher program, but it's a pretty good description. So I can feel like I'm there even if I'm not there. Then after you teach the lesson, I'd like you to do some reflection, and there's guidelines in the description about how to do that. And then I'd also like you to provide some kind of evidence about your teaching. So that could be a video of you teaching, or it could be a photograph or two of you teaching during the lesson. It could be a sample of student work. So any of those things are acceptable as evidence. I just want to see some proof that you actually taught the lesson. So that's what I want in that part. So one try it lesson in this unit, and that, by the way, is due November 1st. So kind of get that on your calendar because that's here in the next couple of weeks. Because I'm kind of getting these directions out a little bit more slowly, if you need a few more days beyond November 1st, please do let me know. I know a lot of you are working in the next couple weeks parent-teacher conferences. So if you're having trouble getting that lesson taught, please, I'm happy to work with you and give you a little extra time if you need that. So don't stress too much about that part. Otherwise, we're just cruising through the semester and have just a little bit left to go. And for Unit 4, this takes us up through the middle of November. So as always, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact me by email or even give me a call, and I'm happy to talk to you about any of the assignments. That's all for now. Thanks. Bye-bye.